inhaled my fart like a bong rip.
This woman, she was doing DoorDash or whatever, Uber Eats, whatever, delivering groceries, and she didn't get a tip. And I kind of wanted to play this. I'll leave it to you guys to decide whether she's in the right or the wrong and how she handled not getting her tip. Let's give this a play real quick, Andy.
So, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to be sitting this back so you can get another delivery.
No, I'm going to be getting my money back. Try calling the
Get your money
cops.
back. Go ahead.
And then you'll get arrested for stealing.
Care. Go ahead and call the cops. What? Come on. Where's your phone? Come on. Bring it out.
Are you
Go ahead and call them.
That
like, at this point, I don't care.
You are so spoiled. No one would want to tip you in the first place.
No, I actually get tons of tips. I get tons of tips.
It's
And
all
that's
you
why
do.
I'm
You just
confused why
scream
you guys didn't give me a tip with this big batch.
No, you just scream at people. You
Do you know how
bully
big this
them.
batch is?
You
I had to
bully
load
them.
it into my car.
Wait, so
I'm
did
a little
you-
embryo, you guys, and I brought it to you guys early, by the way.
No.
And that doesn't matter, right?
No,
Yeah,
because
because
you're
you're trash.
arguing.
Wait, did you accept this order?
Hold up, pause this. This is, for one, the balls on this chick to be like, oh, you didn't tip me. You didn't tip me. But then to be like, oh, I also brought it to you early. Bro, I'll tell you right now, if I schedule a delivery, it's because I'm probably not home, my friend. She might have got lucky that she even caught these people. They could have been out doing something and been like, we need it at 2. You show up 15 minutes early, now what? The groceries are sitting outside? So you might think that you're Superwoman doing this DoorDash bullshit, but the utter balls to just be like, I'm not giving you your order because you didn't tip. Yeah, it was you didn't tip, so we're sending it back. That's so fucking stupid. That is so stupid. But let's see. This girl's got some balls. They might end up squaring up. I don't know.
No, I didn't even leave a tip. She just thinks that she can get something extra.
I'm not talking about.
Did you
the
expect
extra.
a big
If you
tip?
appreciated my service, you would tip me. But clearly, you.
Why
guys
would I
don't
tip
care.
somebody who's angry?
Who's what? I wasn't angry
rude?
when I did all of this.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
angry now because you guys didn't tip me.
Well,
you
that's
guys should have
a
tipped me,
shame.
and I wouldn't be angry.
Well, guess what?
It's that simple. It's literally simple logic. But
No.
clearly, you don't understand
No,
that,
you
right?
don't understand that
Yeah,
you don't deserve a
You don't
tip.
understand it.
You
Why don't I
deserve-
deserve a tip?
Look at yourself. Look at your attitude.
Why don't I
Look at your
deserve a
trunk.
tip?
Look at your trunk, and that's the answer.
I'm taking the food back.
You're stealing.
No, I'm taking it back to
stealing.
the store, and you guys will.
So
be
you
doing
have
it.
the
So why
receipt
am
and
I
you're just
still
gonna
doing
return it?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
That sounds like a waste of time.
Congratulations, you figured it out.
That sounds like a waste of time.
I'm working
now.
To be so petty. Not that I haven't been there. I've done some petty shit in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I'm that boy. I at one point in my life, I might have done the same shit this girl's doing. But we all grow up. To be so petty. Think about it. She has to take if she's gonna do that and commit to that, she has to take the groceries back. And then she's just going to waste like more of her gas and her time and all that just because she didn't get a tip. That's insane.
So I was for a long time a Shipt and Instacart shopper, which for those of you who don't know, that's for when you want to place orders through Target or your local supermarket. Down here in Florida, it would be Publix, right? And I did that for a very long time, and I will tell you, I feel her frustration in the sense where the person didn't tip, because as you can see, that looked like a Costco, BJ's, or Sam's Club order. Is if you looked at the items, everything was bundled. You don't get that in the smaller stores.
Mm-hmm.
So she was probably expecting a pretty big tip because that was a big order, which I understand completely. 100% you're expecting a tip. But if you get there and they don't tip, you're going to be upset. You have every right to be upset. But to have the balls and be like, you know what? Screw this. You're not getting what you ordered because you didn't tip? Nah, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong in every sense.
So now, at what point, is it like, at what point does it become the customer's responsibility when it comes to like paying the salary, right? Like these tip jobs, they've gotten so baked into the culture in America to where like it's socially it's unacceptable to not tip. You're considered stingy or cheap, or it's very It's not good manners to like not tip, especially when you got good service. But when you go to other parts of the world, all that stuff is baked in. Like if you go to Europe and you go to tip your server in Europe, they would almost get offended because they'd look at you like, what do you think? I need your money? I make plenty of money doing my job. There's no need. We don't need your tip. And I'm not going to lie. I think that's a page that America can take out of Europe's book. Because in this situation, the driver, I would imagine, like, Andy, let me ask you real quick. When you were doing that, not trying to take the opposite side, because you did it, so I know you're probably listening to me like, this motherfucker. But when you do the job, you get paid for the ride, though, yeah?
Yes, you get paid for the service that you are providing, which in that case, that specific video, she got paid for the shopping of the groceries and delivering it.
And then the tip is an extra, you know?
The tip, exactly.
So you get the trip, and then you get the tip if the customer gives you the tip. Now, the thing is, let's imagine a world where DoorDash or whatever it was that she was doing just paid her more. And then the customer didn't have to tip. So now every time you get a trip like this, you already know you're going to make a good amount of money because you're going through the trip. But now, this tip stuff, it's gotten beyond even just this. It's almost like it's spreading like a virus. It's like every different type of sector of the economy. Like, I used to work for a company that they did smart consumer storage. And basically what that is, in a nutshell, is they would come to your house, pick up your stuff, take it, and store it in a smart facility. And then you can completely manage it from afar through an app. And then with that, you can check on your items. You can have them brought back to your house. You can have them delivered either piece by piece or all in one shot. And that's why they called it smart storage. But now, in that kind of work, they would add the tip onto that. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily outlandish. It's like all of these things are expected. Movers, bartenders, waitresses, cashiers, even at fast food places. And I wanted to talk about this one article here. Andy, can you pull that up real fast? Right underneath. So, the tipping culture, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm sure I have this is a very one-sided opinion, right? Because I've worked in the service industry, but I was never a front of the house kind of guy. I was the cook working in the back for a fixed rate. No tips involved, all right, ladies and gentlemen. But I still sympathize with the servers and stuff like that. Because I'll tell you, as much as I'm talking shit about getting tips, I still think that it's damn near criminal that a bartender or a server, despite the fact that they get tips, can legally get paid under minimum wage by the employer just because tips is a factor. I think that's dog shit. I don't care if the server made $300 in that night for tips. That should be her business. That has nothing to do with the employer. If somebody gets drunk and they want to tip her, him, whoever, that's the between the customer and the bartender. I think you should still pay them minimum wage. And I think it should be applied in all of these different types of jobs. But now, picture taking the human factor out of that. And I know that might sound confusing. Picture going to a restaurant and seeing a virtual cashier, maybe an avatar or somebody over Zoom, and the restaurant would still want you to tip. How would you feel about that? How would you feel if you walked into, let's say, a chicken joint, like this New York City chicken joint that I'm about to read about, and you see a Zoom cashier, and right next to her is a big fat old tip jar. Nice little sign, hey, leave a tip. Tips are greatly appreciated. How would that make you feel? So let's read on. I want to read this to you. This New York City chicken joint employs cashiers zooming in from the Philippines and still wants you to tip. Let's think about that. Let's think about that sentence for a second. These cashiers are zooming in from the Philippines. So now this goes beyond all the stuff that I just got done talking shit about with the tipping culture. This is beyond that. Because like I said, now you're taking the human element out of that. So I read on. A new restaurant chain in New York City is outsourcing staff to the Philippines, using screens with hostesses on Zoom calls instead of in-person employees to greet customers and help with checkout. The shops, which specialize in fried chicken and ramen, are taking advantage of the massive wealth gap between New York City, where the minimum wage is $16 per hour, and the Southeast Asian nation, where hourly pay is close to $3.75. This is like the the South Park episode where all the rednecks are like, they took our jobs. They're taking our jobs. I could only imagine Trump supporters would be rolling in their graves if they read a title like this. They'd be like, they're outsourcing the good old working man's job. It's funny how people will like bitch about that stuff, but it's always a job that like nobody wants to do. Like, who the fuck wants to be the cashier at a chicken joint in New York City? Come on. Let's think about it, people. Let's scroll down a little bit because this is kind of interesting. Look at that. Actually, look at the picture real fast. Look at that. You walk in. I guarantee you this woman can't speak a lick of English. You walk in there and try to order something, and she's going to stare at you blank-faced. It's like when you get when you call customer service and you're just praying to get somebody that speaks good English. And then you pick up the phone and they're like, thank you, come again. And you're like, motherfucker. Because, listen, it's not the fact that the person is a foreigner that would be upsetting in that situation. It would be the fact that they fucking can't speak English. If you're calling something like customer service, you clearly have a problem. And how's the problem going to get solved if you can't communicate with each other? And now in this situation, how am I going to get ramen and chicken if this girl can't understand me? It's actually funny. I'm joking. We're not racist on this show. Scroll down real quick. I want to read some more about this. So one of the places is called San Chicken. It's in Long Island. And a reporter from the Post was greeted by Pai, a 33-year-old hostess who works from her living room in the Philippines in the city of Subic. The cheerful remote worker said she is employed by a company called Happy Cashier and that she enjoys her job. Now, this woman refused to disclose how much she made to the reporter, but she did say that customers leave some generous tips. They're leaving generous tips. She says once she got $40 at Yasu Kitchen in Jersey City. Look at that. So she's not even... That's the wild part. They said that she was doing it in Long Island, and then she also said she's doing it in Jersey City. So it's like, what is it? One day she's working this shift, and the next day she's working that shift? Like, the efficiency here is off the charts. Let's scroll down. I want to read some more of this. Look at that. We'll come back shortly. Look, you can that sign right there that says "We'll come back shortly." You can expect that 9 times out of 10 when you walk into one of these places. You will be waiting forever to speak to someone. Look, listen to this. Someone quoted, "I think you lose an element of connecting with someone when they're not physically there." That was a quote from a customer, right? At the San Ramen. What element are you trying to get out of a ramen joint in the middle of Long Island? A ramen/chicken joint. The place probably smells insane. It's like kimchi glazed chicken and stuff like that. What element of like ambiance or whatever it is that you're lacking in this situation? But in all seriousness, the scariest thing about this is the fact that people are going to lose jobs like a motherfucker over stuff like this. Like, if this is happening in a ramen joint in New York City, picture other types of scenarios, like, let's say, a concession stand at a major event, or a Renaissance fair, things along to anything. You know, stuff where Normally, some 16-year-old brat could, get his or her legs in the working force. That just all of a sudden gets taken away. And then in the future, people are just going to bitch about how lazy kids are.
And hold my fart like a bong rip.